The rain fell in silver sheets that night, washing over the tired town like a lullaby for the broken. Inside a small, half-painted house on the corner of Willow Street, a single father named Ethan sat at the kitchen table, staring at a half-empty coffee mug and a long list of unpaid bills. The sound of his little daughter, Lily, humming softly as she colored in the next room was the only light left in his dim world. He didn't know that the knock on the door that night, soft, hesitant, almost shy, would change everything. When he opened it, he saw her. A young woman, drenched from the rain, clutching a soaked backpack, eyes wide with desperation. I'm sorry to bother you," she stammered, her voice trembling. "I saw the sign outside. The one that says you have a room for rent." Ethan blinked. No one ever came this far down the street for that. "Yeah," he said slowly, "but it's nothing fancy. Just a small room. That's fine," she said quickly. "Please? I just need a place to stay." Tonight, something about her, the way she held herself, the quiet sadness in her eyes, made Ethan hesitate. She didn't look like the usual kind of renter. She looked like someone running from something. Still, he nodded. "All right, come in." And that's how Emma walked into his life. A stranger with secrets worth more than the walls that sheltered her. The next morning, the house felt different. Lily's laughter echoed brighter as she proudly showed Emma her drawings at breakfast. Ethan watched from the stove, quietly frying eggs, still unsure what to make of their new guest. Emma smiled politely, but he caught the flicker of loneliness in her eyes every time she thought no one was looking. Over the next few days, Emma tried to blend in. She offered to help around the house, cooking, cleaning, reading bedtime stories to Lily. But little things gave her away her perfect manners. Her hesitation when handling old furniture, the expensive watch she tried to hide under her sleeve. Ethan noticed, but he never asked. Maybe he didn't want to scare her away. He was still healing himself. 2 years ago, his wife had died in an accident. He had given up his dreams of becoming a teacher and started doing odd jobs, painting houses, fixing fences, anything that paid enough to keep Lily fed and smiling. He'd learned to live with less, but his heart still ached with the weight of unfinished plans. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the trees, Emma found him fixing a broken chair on the porch. "You're really good with your hands," she said softly. He smiled faintly. "You learn fast when you've got no one else to call." Something in that answer made her eyes glisten. "You do all this alone?" "Yeah," he said simply. "But Lily makes it worth it." Emma looked away, her throat tightening. She thought of her own father, the billionaire who'd built an empire but never built a memory with her. She'd left home to prove she could survive without his money, to find out who she really was beyond her last name. But seeing Ethan, she realized something deeper. She hadn't just been looking for freedom. She'd been looking for family. Weeks turned into months. Emma became part of their small, fragile world. She taught Lily songs on the piano. She made Ethan laugh again, something he hadn't done in years. There were quiet dinners, playful mornings, and unspoken emotions that grew stronger with every glance shared across the kitchen table. But secrets have a way of catching up. One afternoon, a sleek black car stopped outside the house. 2 men in suits stepped out. Ethan saw them from the window, his brow furrowed. They didn't belong here. When Emma opened the door and froze, he understood. They were here for her. "Miss Hayes." One of them said politely, "Your father has been looking everywhere for you." He's worried. Ethan's world tilted. "Hayes." As in Charles Hayes, the billionaire who owned half the city. He turned to Emma, confusion written across his face. "It's true," she whispered, tears filling her eyes. "I'm his daughter. I didn't mean to lie. I just wanted to live a real life. Away from the cameras. Away from everything fake." Lily, sensing the tension, clung to Ethan's leg. "Daddy, what's wrong?" He looked at Emma, the girl who had become family, and felt something break inside him. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because I didn't want you to see me differently," she cried. "For once, I wanted someone to care about me. It's not my father's money." The men waited patiently outside, but Emma didn't move. "Please," she said softly, "tell Lily I'll miss her." Then she turned and walked away, her heart shattering with every step. Months passed. The small house on Willow Street grew quiet again. Ethan buried himself in works, but the empty chair at the dinner table reminded him of what he'd lost. Not just a tenant, but someone who'd helped heal the parts of him he didn't know were broken. Then one day a letter arrived, no return address, just a single key taped to the paper and a handwritten note for the man who showed me what love really means. "Thank you for giving me a home when I had none. This key opens a small place in town. It's yours. I just wanted to give something back. Emma, Ethan drove to the address. It wasn't a mansion or a luxury apartment. It was a modest, sunlit cafe, fully furnished, with a sign that read, Lily's Corner. He stood there, tears filling his eyes. He understood. Emma hadn't given him charity. She'd given him a dream. That night, as he and Lily stood beneath the glowing cafe sign, a familiar car stopped across the streets. Emma stepped out wearing the same shy smile he remembered. Lily ran to her first, shouting, and hugged her tightly. Ethan just stood there, his heart full. She looked up at him and whispered, I came back, not as a billionaire's daughter, just as me. He smiled, that same quiet, grateful smile, and reached out his hand. Then welcome home, Emma. And under the soft glow of the sign she gifted him, they began again, not as strangers bound by circumstance, but as a family built on kindness, trust, and love that no amount of money could ever buy. The rain fell again that night, just like it did the day they met. But this time it didn't wash away pain. It carried hope and the promise of new beginnings.